Hey, bookish baddies. Welcome to Black Girls Lit.
Where fine women, fine literature, and fine libations collide.
Step into the lit life. Black Girls Lit starts now.
Black women are so complex. Hey, bookish baddies, and welcome back to Black Girls Lit. It's your girl, Tasha.
I'm Lex.
I'm Star.
And it's Steph.
All right, y'all, welcome back. It is May. May is my birthday month, so I will be celebrating, yes. Yeah, last year I kept it a little low-key. You know, my baby was graduating, but this year I'm very much feeling it's all about me. I will see y'all all throughout May out here in these streets.
You deserve that.
Oh, well,
You deserve that.
And she's been ready to get in these streets.
She has.
I am. I've been settled down a little bit since I had this grandbaby. Grandbaby been slowing me down. So the streets been calling me. So yes, I will be celebrating my birth all month long. And I plan to see you guys out in these streets some too. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and kick off this episode. What are we sampling today, Lex?
All right, so you've seen her before if you have followed us from the very beginning, and we hope you have. But Fiddler Whiskey is back. Just a little bit about Fiddler. Fiddler Whiskey is a celebrated American bourbon line from the ASW distillery right here in Atlanta. So this whiskey is an Atlanta native. One of the city's most awarded craft distillers, the brand name comes from how the team fiddles with different whiskeys, mash bills, finishes, and cast treatments to create a unique flavor profile.
Okay.
So this should be a good complex,
Right, they're
if
right
you
here
will,
fiddling with stuff. Let's see.
Whiskey. So
Fiddling with
Cheers.
it.
fiddling
Cheers.
whiskey.
A little spicy.
It is definitely giving spicy.
Now, I will say there are actually two types, renditions, if you will, of the whiskey that we're going to be tasting today. So the one that we took a shot of is their toasted whiskey, but then they also have the wheated one, which I believe is in at least one of our cocktails, two of our cocktails today. So we'll be tasting both, so hopefully y'all can feel the different tastes. So
Well, let me tell you, this will get you quite toasted.
yeah, I'm warm.
My insides is warm, and I was just thinking, and I don't know if the thing about these BGL shot glasses, they're not really shot glasses. They're like mini cocktail tumblers.
Right.
And sometimes some of these hosts are a little heavy-handed, and some of these quote-unquote taste shots, they be a little deep. This one was not, though, that deep. It's about right. It's about 1 ounce. It's about 1 ounce. Yeah. If you break the cup into thirds,
It's about an ounce.
it's about
It
an
was
ounce.
definitely to like.
Oh,
at
mine
least
wa-
mine was.
mine was.
So
Mine was a
someone
little
trapped me this
yeah.
episode. All right, so I'm
But I
gonna
will
watch.
say I
I'm gonna
did-
watch my.
I wasn't the pourer.
I did like it. I was a pourer. It was good. But again, my insides are still toasted. They're warm.
Just on fire.
Absolutely.
on
yeah.
fire. But anyways, Steph, tell us about our book this month.
Okay, let's get into this. Unfinished Business, written by Malcolm D. Lee and Jayne Allen. It reunites us with the beloved crew from the Best Man universe. But this time, the focus isn't just nostalgia, it's reckoning. Harper Stewart is recently divorced, riding high off of his Pulitzer Prize win and living what should feel like his best life. On paper, he's successful, free, elevated, but emotionally, he's blocked, restless, still circling something he never fully resolved. Jordan Armstrong has physically removed herself, leaving New York, leaving the corporate grind, and attempting to leave Harper in the past. From Malibu, she presents a heel-grounded version of herself, but distance doesn't always equal closure. And then there's Robin, who's rebuilt her life in Ghana, creating peace, purpose, and protection from herself and her daughter, Mia. She's determined not to repeat old patterns until life forces Harper back into her orbit in ways she didn't anticipate. At its core, this isn't just a reunion story. It's about second acts, about whether success, distance, and time actually changes us or just refine the roles we already play. Surrounded by their chosen family, Harper, Jordan, and Robin are forced to confront the question none of them fully answered years ago. Can love evolve, or does it simply resurface?
Okay. All right,
Baby,
yeah, so as we
it
said,
wasn't a read.
so we also like, whoo. Okay, so I mean, as we said, we're revisiting our friends from the whole Best Man
franchise.
series. You know, that was, we watched the movie, we watched the final chapters, we went, now we jumping into this unfinished business. Let's see how we felt about it, ladies.
And please understand that unfinished business, it's a trilogy. So we're far from done. We are far from done with the
It's
Best
like
Man
starting all
franchise.
over.
Yes. But also definitely watch the movie and watch the series before reading this book. I mean, you could probably catch some context clues, but
You're not gonna feel the book unless you really watch the
watched.
movie. Yeah, you watch both movies. Watch the final
movies,
chapters,
yes.
which is weird. We had the final chapters, then now all of a sudden a trilogy of books. But we're not gonna question how these writers live in their life. We're not. All right, Malcolm, it's okay. But ladies, let's see how we felt about this book. We're gonna jump right into our ratings. Y'all know how we do. Cheers is 4 stars. Sip is 3. Babysit is 2. Send It Back is a 1. I'll go ahead and start first. I'm gonna give it. This was hard for me to come. I did a sip. I'm going 3 stars, and some of that is some of that. Gosh, some of that is tied to because I mean I'm connected to the people because I've been in since the early 2000s. You know, when I watched the first movie, so it is kind of like checking back in with your old friends. There's definitely some things that were lacking in the book. But yeah, overall, I'll give it 3 stars. I didn't hate it. What's up, Lex?
I think I'm going to do a babysit. Only because I think kind of what you were saying, this is definitely a nostalgic read. If you have watched the movies and did the TV shows and all of that, like it's definitely very nostalgic to that time in television and Black television. And honestly, the writing, I had no problem with. The writing was really well done. I think we've talked about it a lot in this podcast. The art of being able to switch voices. I think that the author did a really good job of like switching the narratives throughout the book because this book is 3 perspectives. So that's very difficult to do. I think the reason for my low rating is just the storyline in general. Very toxic, very immature. I expected more from people who are in this grown and sexy era of their life. Yeah, they were very trifling. So that's why I'm giving it a 2, but that's not because of the writing or the skill behind it. It was truly the characters were being ghetto as hell. So yeah, babysit.
This was a difficult one for me too. I wanted to completely love it and give it a cheers, but I cannot, alas. However, we're doing it for the culture and we got history. I feel like I grew up with these characters. They grown, I'm grown. I can understand and relate to where we are right now. So it's going to be 3 stars, a sip for me. I do agree. There were some things that I just expected. I expected more from, definitely from my girl Jordan. Harper, it's whatever. Robin, I've never been a fan. So
really,
true to life. Like she ain't it. She never was.
Even from the movie?
Even from the movie. She's always been. Anyway, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
It's a sip for me. Steph?
Well, since I'm over here in this last chair, I'm going to represent for my girl
go
Star.
ahead and stand on it, Steph.
I'm going to have to send it back.
Ooh.
I'm going to give it 1 star, and the 1 star is for the writing. That's all you get from me. That's it.
She hated the plot.
So harsh.
Very. I couldn't. I think to piggyback with everybody saying, with the movies and the series, it was like growth is coming.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I did not get growth. It's just too much has transpired in this 20-year time frame from the wedding to Lance's wife passing away. I forgot her name. Mia. And then now they're divorced, all of this stuff. And to be where we are, it's still a little messy. And I understand you needed a book. So we needed a story.
Ooh.
But also let's be honest and say, and I may be the only one standing on this, but the whole damn series is messy.
Yes.
From the movie to the second movie to the series so like he definitely kept the consistent messiness of the character. Like, Best Man has always been messy as hell.
You're
always
right.
has
I
been.
think it's because of the 20 years later and we're still messy. I think it's just like, what? But I'm 20 years later and I found growth.
We feel like we grew up. Why haven't y'all?
Correct.
Like we done figured stuff out. Like, when we watched the first movie, like we were like the same age as them. So we're kind of like, well, we grown now. What? Why y'all ain't
Even the
got it? That thing, like
series.
maybe that's what it is. No.
But we gonna get into it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Whew.
Maybe it'll conjure all of this together to see why I think they got every rating today.
Almost. We just did not give
Oh,
it
no,
a cheers.
no
one did.
cheers,
no
But I do
cheers.
think this is the most across the board we've been, like, since we started the podcast. So that's very interesting.
And Star and I rarely agree. That's weird.
Yeah. I wanted to give it a cheers. I didn't.
Oh, it's Tasha's birthday. You
I
just
wanted
agree.
to-
You give it her early birthday gift, girl?
Yes. I'm working on being more agreeable. Because that's what they say works. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I agree. I'm ready for a drink. What you brought, Star?
Let's do
Tasha
it.
ready to drink.
Okay. So our first who put the lid in Black Girl's lid? Okay. All right. Our first cocktail tonight, we're calling it History on the Rocks, okay? And it is the BGL version of the classic whiskey sour. Smooth, balanced, and timeless. 20 plus years later, and it's still complicated, just like the story we're diving into. So, let's go. Little whiskey sour.
Now, what'd you put in this?
Now, what's in here, we got little Fiddler whiskey, some simple serve, and some lemon juice.
Oh,
Real
keep it
straightforward,
simple.
simple and to the point. You know, little bro.
And that is what it tastes like.
Whiskey sour, yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, all right, bye.
I can't. I mean, it's a classic cocktail. You can't
And
really mess that up.
You
Yeah.
can't mess that up. That's
And it's
real
really,
good.
it's putting out the fire that
It's-
straight shot
Yeah.
gave me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job, Star.
Absolutely. All right. So as we sip, let's start with Robin and Jordan. We're in the middle of this 20 plus year love triangle, and both of these women are still sorting out their feelings for Harper, not just romantically, but emotionally. So the first question is twofold. When history runs this deep, is it about the person in front of you or the version of yourself you were when you first loved them? And also, between Robin and Jordan, who's loving Harper as he is now versus who's holding on to the person that he was in the past?
Ooh,
So,
this is a deep question.
It's a little complex, but I feel like it's gonna set the stage for dive into the ratings.
I like the question, but I will say it's hard to answer that because they both
Have been.
always been there. I do think that Jordan's love for him, it is going to be different because I think Jordan's love is definitely that little bit of always like what could have been, like, oh, if we woulda, shoulda, coulda back in college, and then like that whole thing. So maybe she is more so holding on to what could have been. Robin did love him through everything. She tried to be there as best as she could. Actually, you know what? You're not gonna make me not like Robin.
Sorry.
Robin was there. She was there with him along, encouraging him and pushing him. Okay, now I just talk myself into an answer. Jordan loves the young who Harper was then in the really nostalgic old Harper. Robin has the adult Harper, I think.
I think it comes down to, just to answer, because this is a twofold question. So, but to answer the latter part, going into what you were talking about, I think that the difference is it's not to say that Robin and Harper were not friends, but it's very evident that Jordan and Harper, that friendship runs deep. So I feel like Harper was able to truly be himself, whether it was raggedy or not, with Jordan because it was platonic. Yes, they had a few slip-ups, they had done whatever, but at the end of the day, he could be raggedy with her. Whereas with Robin, it was very much, okay, this is a marriage, this is a partnership. I just feel like he had to almost wear his husband hat full time with Robin. Whereas with Jordan, she knew who he was outside of being the husband Harper. And so that makes the relationship a little different, in my opinion.
So first of all, I don't like Robin. Let me be very
Really?
clear.
Why
yeah,
don't
let me
we like
be very
Robin?
clear.
I want to know why we don't like
I
Robin.
never liked Robin. She just always came across very insecure to me from the very beginning. She was insecure, and I feel like she should have tapped out long before it became this. And you end up making the decision that you made, which is anyway.
Wait a minute, so it's the fact
She
that
should have tapped out way before the marriage
It
shouldn't
was
have never
undeniable
happened.
that Jordan and Harper had a thing, and so you feel like
they've
she
been
was
fucking
stupid.
around.
Yes.
They've been
She
fucking
shoulda
around
never-
since day one.
She
Oh,
never
okay,
should
okay.
have. I feel like she never should have married him. She never should agree to that. And I felt that she did because of her insecurities. She was insecure about the relationship that him and Jordan had. She always was. Even if you think to the first movie and then the
Were they just
movie,
dating in the first movie?
the movie at the holiday when they went to Lance and Mia's for the holiday, she still had a whole moment like she knew that they were friends and they were all always gonna be friends. They all had history because it's been messy since the beginning, right? They all had history. She was not going anywhere. So if Robin wasn't going to be okay with Jordan being around all the time, she should have opted out from the beginning. But
You
she
don't
was
think
so
she was okay?
insecure.
I think that's giving
was
Jordan
never-
way too much power because at the end of the day, Harper was married to Robin. And I feel like any woman would be insecure when like there keeps being this common denominator of like you're slipping up and every time you slip up, this woman is involved, but also y'all are best friends. So like, I don't know
But that's what I'm
what
saying.
to do. So, but I feel like a lot of that was on Jordan
But they
too,
weren't
'cause why are
always
you
married.
slipping up?
But they weren't always married.
But they
Robin
were
and Harper were
together?
not always married. So why
That's what I
did
can remember.
Robin, if that was the case, to your point, right? This is what it is. You see, this is their relationship. Like this woman, she's gonna be around, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to agree to marry you anyway, in the hopes of what? Like, what did you think was gonna happen? That she was just gonna go away and not be there? They were all friends. Anyway,
So you can't have a best friend that's a woman.
you absolutely can.
not
If
that.
you're secure,
It's about being
if you're-
respectful.
It's
though.
about being secure, first of all, in your relationship. And it is about being respectful. I personally don't feel like Jordan was disrespectful outside of, that first situation before they were even married, when they were just dating.
They had two situations though. Because remember at the end of the series, they had slipped up too.
Yeah, but at the end of the series, it wasn't a slip. That's the whole thing I'm saying. I don't think it's ever a slip up. I think
It was very intentional.
I think
It was bound to happen.
Jordan and Harper should have always been together. They should have.
If they would have worked out or not is the case.
They should have always been together. Robin made herself collateral damage because she was insecure and she should have just opted out from the beginning. So to go to the question, when the history is this deep, is it about the person in front of you or the version of yourself you were when you first loved them? I think in this case, it was about the versions of themselves when they first, right? When they first loved each other. So for Jordan and Harper, when they were in school, like they always reference, this friendship and this relationship that they built when they were in college. And then for Robin, the same thing. I think when she first met Harper, she was, all in love and at the idea of who he could be, to your point, Tasha, supporting his goals and his dreams and all of that. But once the reality set in, right, of who he actually is, like Harper is the fuckboy of the group. Like he presents as, but it's always like he's always the problem to some extent. But as far as Jordan and Robin loving him for who he actually is, I think Jordan accepted him more for the person that he actually was. And to somebody's point, because their relationship was platonic to begin with. So he could be a mess, like the good, the bad, the ugly, right? Your friends see all of you versus the representative that you present when you're dating
Robin
someone.
loved him through all that too. She loved who he was, and he was the one who could not give her what she needed.
And he was selfish.
She did not
And then it
love
was
him.
selfish.
She did not love who he was, because who he was a selfish. He was always who he was, self-centered, selfish, like even with the issues that he constantly had with Lance in their situation, like Harper. You got to man up, man up and have a conversation with your boy. Like, hey, I need help, or this is what's going on. But Harper he's always been who he is, like out for Harper.
Correct. And unconfrontational.
Period. That's always who he has been. Whatever works for Harper, whoever is going to support Harper. Yes, the entourage of Harper. And Robin was the entourage. Like, she was yes, my man, I'm going to stand in the corner and cheer. And then when she finally realized he wasn't changing, because he wasn't changing to be who she was, then all of a sudden, Harper was always who he.
I think I'm just now, like, the way you explain it, I'm just not realizing, like, as far as like the whole series goes, he's always been the hero and the villain.
I don't know if he's ever been the hero.
Well, I mean, but like, I guess maybe
He's
like
been the hero in disguise.
Right.
Rather, the movie, the series, and the book were also were about him.
He's the main.
So he was the
yes.
archetype. The archetype, is that what they called it? Or like the main character.
He's the main
but he's
character
not
of
necessarily
everything.
good or bad. Like, I think he's just Harper.
You have a main character energy?
For me,
Yeah.
it's more of, I feel like Robin is the now. No, Jordan is the now. Because Jordan has seen, like everybody has said, good, bad, and ugly. Robin, I think she's done. Robin is just like, I know who he is and what he can do. She sees the compassion, but she's done. She wants stuff for herself. She wants to be loved and cared for. So I don't think Robin is in the equation for Harper. And
Robin realized he's never going to change.
well,
So
yeah, I
maybe
mean, that's
what
why
it
she's
is.
just, that's why, and you divorced him because of that. You divorced him, and now here he come running, and there are dynamics in their relationship that I don't agree with. I'm not a fan of Robin.
Girl.
I agree. In the beginning, they should have never continued the relationship. I thought eventually, I feel like Jordan and Harper's story should have started sooner than when it did.
So did Robin make the mistake that
I think she
a
did.
lot of people make up thinking that they're
yeah.
going to change, and you think that he's going to become what I need him to be. And so the point where she was fed up, where she was done at the end, like in the television series, it was because she realized, even 20-something years in, you're never going to change. Yes. And so she just woke up and was like, crap.
But I don't know, y'all. I still feel like we can't put all of that on her, because also Harper is not innocent. Like, he doesn't get to get off just because Harper is how he is, and Robin should have known. No, he gave her every reason to believe that he was changing, that he was trying to do what was best for her and his family, but then he would obviously be who he actually was and would slip up. And I think that, like, he definitely should be reprimanded for that, because you're lying.
But he never.
You're lying.
But that's the whole thing. He never did. Like,
he tried.
So if you go,
he tried. It wouldn't last long, but he would try to be a good
try?
man.
Did he really try
would.
though?
He tried for 2 days.
He tried.
I don't
Like,
think
he tried.
Steph did
Now,
not
here's
say
the
for 2
thing.
days.
I do think that Harper tried to maintain the picture, right? But it was never for Robin. It was always for Harper. It was always the vision, the picture, the goals that Harper had for himself. It was never about Robin.
So then who do we hate? Robin or Harper?
I hate
Robin.
So here's the reason
For me, it's
that
Harper, because the thing is, Harper is like, you are an insecure man too. And you need these people around you to uplift you, to make sure you're writing the best piece that you're going to write. Why does it take all of that? And then you're the cause of the demise for you to get back to where you need to be so you can write the book.
And then you know why
Stephanie
he's
is hot,
also
y'all. Y'all done pissed.
And you know
Steph
why he's also
off.
the most insecure? Because yes, he went all the way to Ghana because Mia
my
called.
daughter,
But
like-
also he admitted while he was there, I didn't want you to be happy when I wasn't happy. He said that. He
Selfish.
said, I was jealous that you had found somebody else. Meanwhile, he was fucking everything in New York.
Literally
That part.
everything moving.
So it's like, no, he doesn't get off as, oh, this is just how Harper is. Nah, he a fuck nigga.
and I'm
And
not
y'all
saying,
can bleep that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he knew,
Now let y'all know
you
it's-
don't get to have your cake and
We
eat
not
it
doing all this
too.
bleeping now. Y'all better watch y'all mouth.
So here's the thing. I'm not watching my mouth, but listen, everything that you guys are saying is absolutely true. Listen, don't miss my point. The reason why Robin is my issue, because as a woman, y'all know I'm Miss INDEPENDT, okay? Miss Independent. So my issue is you as a woman, we as women, we get to assess, we get to see, we get to make a decision, right? She made a decision because she expected him to become who she was in the relationship. And when he did not change who he was, all of a sudden now she gets to play victim. Woe is me. And I'm not with that shit. Like, I'm not with women making conscious decisions about life choices or their circumstances or whatever the case may be. And then when it doesn't work out or doesn't manifest the way you willed it to or the way you hoped it would, then you get to make them the villain because your story didn't play out. You see what I'm saying? Like, Harper is a villain, but just because that's who he is, period. Like, he is who he is. Okay, that doesn't make him a good guy. It doesn't make him a bad guy. But Robin, you get to play victim now. You know who he was. You knew who he was. You came to from the beginning when you got there to the wedding and you found out what had happened. You should have left his ass then, but you didn't because you were insecure and you said, "Oh, I know what'll make it better. Yes, let me agree to marry this man." Fuck out of here. Stop
She
playing
thought
with me.
maybe there was going to be growth in the
Stop playing with
relationship.
me.
All right. Okay. Well,
Well,
Are
I
we-
guess.
are we ready for a drink and discussion number 2? Because if y'all did not already know, two of the co-hosts is pissed off right now. Star and Steph. And they both mad. And these people in these books, they mad at them. And I don't know how else to say it.
The trilogy will not be finished on this end.
Ooh,
I'll probably
you
finish
have
it.
to read.
I'm
Okay.
definitely
finish it.
gonna read
I'll
it. Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna finish it.
We've been
Give
in
me the
this for
Cliff
20
Notes.
years.
We will.
We've been in
I
a
have to
relationship
finish
with the
it.
people for 20 years now. There's no way we can't not finish their story. So that's
we must.
I'll get the Cliff Notes. Thanks, Prince.
ooh. Steph said, "Tell me about it," because I'm not reading it. So if somewhere in season 3 is an episode where Steph is missing, it's because we decided to do the other 2 books. And she was like,
Individual
and she-
reading.
Standing on business.
She
Standing
said,
on
I'm not
business.
reading it. I'm not reading it. All right, well, shall we move to the next cocktail? This is my cocktail. Hopefully y'all like it. It is called, not shit, Sip Happens.
Sip does happen.
And this one is made with the toasted version of the whiskey. So it's kind of like a boozy blood orange, like a boozy orange-sicle type thing. That's what it's supposed to be. But y'all let me know if it's good or not.
The color is pretty.
I do
Cheers.
like the color.
Cheers.
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 It's very much giving creamsicle.
Y'all like it?
It's good.
It is. I wasn't expecting that.
I know it is like a creamsicle. What's in it that makes it like the little creaminess? What's
The
that?
vanilla
The
syrup.
vanilla syrup.
Vanilla syrup. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so with that, the discussion is, in The Best Man Unfinished Business, when emotions resurface and old wounds reopen, do you think the characters are truly healing or just reacting? At what point does SIP happen become accountability instead of an excuse? And so maybe we should give a good example of maybe what this question should be pertaining to, maybe?
I was gonna say
Okay.
the one person. Star, please do not come across the table at me.
I'm not.
The one person who I felt like really was like growing and not just, I mean, like it was doing the work. Truly, I do feel was Robin. Like she was really like doing the work.
Hell. What part of the Twilight Zone am I in? Sorry.
I do think
Go ahead.
feel like
I
she
apologize.
was
She
doing
did.
it too.
She was like, she was doing the work to make the changes necessary. And yes, she was definitely on like a journey. She did different things, tried different things, stuff. But she was constantly searching for like this level of peace that she was needing in her life. And she was doing like every step along the journey, she was putting the work, she was making the changes. Okay, well, hey, no, this is not working, and willing to find the peace that she needed. And I feel like that she actually did come to that place and have an understanding of herself, her self-worth. And even if she did jump into a situationship early on in the movie, like, girl, why you married him? I feel, and maybe it took 20 something years, but I feel like at the end, after doing the work, she did choose herself. And she was very adamant in what that looked like. Now, again, I didn't agree with all her decisions.
But it's not linear. Healing
This is
not
true.
linear at all.
If we talk about all the characters, because in the book just mainly focused on Jordan, Harper, and Robin. Of the three of them, I feel like she was the one that really was putting the work and living like a healing journey and trying to actually make some positive changes.
I would agree. Robin, and then Jordan. Jordan was seeing her worth. She quit that corporate world she was living in and working, and now she was seeing she needed to work on herself, and she wanted more, especially her health declined, and that was one of the main reasons.
It's true.
But I feel like Robin was the one doing more of the healing. She discussed her first baby that she miscarried, and so I think that's a part of the journey. Harper, did the journey start?
Harper was Harper. He was harpering.
So yeah,
I feel like he was more so healing from the act of the divorce rather than addressing the issues in himself.
which is a narcissistic person.
For sure.
And very selfish. And he still didn't work on himself because it was one of those things. It's like, now you see things, and yes, you use an excuse, like you listen to your 11-year-old child. Like, I was with Jordan. I'm not saying he shouldn't have reacted the way he did, but call first, see what's going on. Let's take a step back. Let's see what's going on. The thing is, this is where I feel like Harper's so immature, because you don't know how to pick up the phone and call somebody and have a conversation. How old are we?
Well, and this thing, so SIP does not have to happen. At some point, you're able to take control over what is going to happen. It doesn't have to just sit back and oops.
What happens.
I reacted, and now look where we are. I pulled that one card out, and the whole deck just fell apart. I'm so baffled as to how we ended up here. Like, it does not have to be like that.
It doesn't. Harper's very frustrating.
Star is about to explode. Go ahead.
It's just because she hates Robin.
I'm definitely jaded and biased, for sure. Now, I will say, Jordan's my girl. Always has been. From the beginning, she's always been my girl. Very take charge, career-minded. I know what I want. I'm going to go get it. Like, I'll play soft and quiet for a little bit, but as soon as I see it's not yielding the results that I'm expecting, I have to move on and do other things. So she's always been very take action to me, even from the beginning, where she was like, yo, tonight's the night. I'm about to go get it. Like, what's up? So she's always been my girl. So as far as doing the work, I'm going to have to say Jordan, because again, to her, knowing her worth and making the appropriate changes, distancing herself, setting boundaries about what was acceptable, what was not in her career, in her relationships, in her friendships, from her parents to her friends to whatever. Like, I just feel that collectively across the board, when there's been action that has to be taken and decisions that have to be made for the better of Jordan, right? No matter how hurtful or painful it may be, she's always done that. Now, we did get a little introduction in this book that she may have some family stuff going on, right? Some deeper things that are probably going to get addressed in the trilogy, which is why we have to read it to see. But
we have to read it, not Steph.
Yeah, we have to read it. Steph's out. But Robin, nah, man, nah. Because even if you say she did the work and she's doing all the things and you divorced this man, again, from the whole point of even getting married to begin with, but you did that, you went through that whole thing, had this whole ass kid and all these things, divorced this man, moved to the other side of the world and still don't have any boundaries. She still didn't have any boundaries. When he showed up, what happened. And we don't have to get into it, but I'm just saying, this work that she did and these things that she did to grow and do the work and all that, she dropped all of that again.
No.
Yes, she did. Did y'all forget? Did y'all forget what happened with them at the end? And how the next book is going to potentially start, and where the mess is going to continue.
You got to give Robin more credit.
Absolutely.
No, she definitely had those boundaries up.
She had her boundaries.
Every once in a while, a mistake was made, but no, she definitely was holding to her boundaries.
Let me see the question.
Because yes, and again, I think it goes back to healing is not linear. And that's not to say that like she did not backslide with what she did at the end of the book. Like she absolutely did backslide and like their boundaries faltered. But to say that she did less work than Jordan, I don't agree. I feel like Jordan has an issue with control, and that's all that it comes down to.
And you
the
talk about
minute she's not
boundaries with her,
able to control the narrative or control the situation, she starts spiraling out of control. And she bounces on to the next thing because she realizes, oh, I don't have control of this thing and it's scaring me because I'm starting to be vulnerable. So I'm going to go to something that I do have control over, and I'm going to lean into that. And an example of that is when she did have the breakdown with Harper, when Harper left and she was spiraling, which I feel like she did a lot. I feel like there should have been more communication on both ends of that. She just took a grain of salt and ran with it. But as soon as she started going to therapy, and then when the therapist asked like how you've been, what's been going on, she boop, 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 hung up the phone because she could not address the hard things that she was dealing with. And that is because she felt like she was losing control of the situation. So
she does that with everything.
She does it with everything.
She does.
So as far as healing goes, I feel like Robin is the only person that actually looked their issue in the face and acknowledged it. Maybe it wasn't linear and it wasn't pretty, but she actually acknowledged the issues and she eventually found her way back to what she was looking for. But unfortunately, there were ramifications to what it took to get her back to being grounded again. But Jordan, she just has an issue with control. That's all it is.
So 2 things. First of all, y'all done made me break my fan. God. But, we can agree to disagree. But I just want to say, again, though, let me see. Do you think the characters are truly healing or just reacting? I think that all of them, to some extent, are just reacting. Let's keep it a buck. I think they're all reacting to some extent. Harper for sure. Harper for sure is reacting.
Harper and Jordan reacted for sure.
Robin reacted too. Like, what are y'all saying?
That one time.
How many times do it take to be relevant to the question? The question don't say that. But that ain't what
Jordan
the
and
question
Harper.
says.
You're right. You're right. But Jordan and Harper is like a whole meal. You got the appetizer, the main course, dessert with them, with the whole thing. Robin gave you a dessert, and now all of a sudden, she part of the whole equation.
Not all of a
shut
sudden.
down her whole therapy session because she was uncomfortable.
She was already looking at Brian. She was already looking at Brian like he the next meal. Let me slide back.
And even when he said nah, she was shook for a second. Like she regrouped and like bounced back. But even she was like, oh shit, he don't want no
Right.
He don't want none of this.
Business.
What is this about then?
Business.
All of a sudden, it's crazy. But,
All right.
I was
I-
not a fan.
We're going
clearly
to the
I don't
third.
like Robin. I said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You just
I don't know,
like her.
Star. It appears as though maybe you don't like Robin.
I might not.
And that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I'm getting. And it's
She's just not my type of chick.
Right. So we gonna go into this Dancing Mule, our third cocktail with our Fiddler whiskey weeded. So with the Dancing Mule, you have a little bit of the whiskey and some ginger beer and some lime juice and a splash of some bitters. So hopefully you guys enjoy it.
I love a mule too.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, the thing about Black Girls Lit is we gonna make a mule.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I love
anything. Like, please understand. you can make a mule with whatever you want to.
Any base of liquor.
Yes, and we are here to do the thing.
As we sip, let's get into the third discussion.
We love it. We hate it.
It's okay. You know, this is the thing, y'all. And
ginger beer is
I'm not a
acquired
ginger
taste.
beer. Y'all know, and I understand that ginger is the black folks cure all and everything. And I'm just
ginger
not a big
ale, not ginger.
So ginger ale, not ginger beer.
Because there's actually no ginger in ginger ale.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a thing on social media.
was.
Black folks just be making shit up.
Oh my gosh.
That's why Canada Dry was getting sued there for a minute. Because there's no ginger.
There are some ginger ales that have real ginger.
beer.
There are some ginger ales I think that have real ginger in them, aren't there? We'll have to Google that.
Oh my gosh.
But listen,
Well, I'm learning.
Anyway, here's what we not here to do. We're not here to debunk any
No ginger
historically black cure-alls. That's not what we.
Because
That's
it's
not
soda
what we came
medicine.
to do.
It's soda medicine. It's the cure-all.
Don't even worry about that.
Meanwhile, I don't really love mules, but I mean, this mule it's okay. It's okay.
Thanks, Tasha.
I
It's
like
okay. It's
You
okay.
know, she just trying to get back at you because we
'Cause
haven't
we
liked
shit on
her
her
last two
cocktail last
cocktails.
time.
Yeah, it's all
The
good.
last
But
two,
it's
for the fans of the show who watched the last two episodes, y'all know that they did not like my last two drinks. And
Two? I thought it was one.
No, it was two.
It was
What was the other one you made outside the Shirley Temple?
it was something else before that.
Girl, that Aperol spritz.
Oh.
You right.
Now back to our regularly scheduled program because that was so petty. Sorry.
So we're gonna go into discussion number 3.
Let's talk about it because I still have some work to do in my therapy.
We just need to take a bartending class or two. That's all.
Sure.
That's all. Anyways,
Put that on the list.
Take us to the third question.
Okay. What does this story say about love after 40? Do people truly get better in their 40s romantically or just more strategic?
Okay, let's say about being in your 40s. Because I feel like I've been here the longest. And I'm gonna own that. I think that I can't speak for the characters in this book because I don't know if I've seen all their growth. But me in my 40s, I feel like at a certain point, you know yourself so well that whether it's romantic relationships, friendships, work, everything, you're just kind of like, you're like really good on what you're good with and what you're not good with. And so I think definitely when it comes to romance, I think it can be harder for people because you're in your blanket, you know yourself so much, you're like, oh no, I'm not putting up with that. It's immediate. It's already a no. Like you walk in the door and it's a no. You're just non-bending in so many different areas. So I do think it sometimes does get to be harder as far as romance goes. But I will say in terms of like friendships, I feel like I've formed some of my closest friendships in my 40s because I easily can spot like my people and I'm not being friends with somebody just because, oh, well, like I'm like just to be accepted with anybody. I'm like, oh no, because I'm with or without you, I'm good. So, hey, don't worry, you ain't got to hang out. Don't worry about it. So like I said, I do think like in terms of relationships, I think it's harder, but friendship, relationships, stuff like that, I do feel like it's good. Being in your 40s, like when you get to a point where you know yourself, I think it's a great place to be.
I agree.
I think it's a combination of both with the romantic and strategic part of it over your 40s because at this point, you know what you want, you know what you like and don't like. At that point, it's when you meet somebody. Now, when you're talking about love in your 40s, it's different because you're meeting people that have established lives already. So people could have been married, divorced, kids, no kids, lived in different places, various things by the time you get into your 40s. So prime example, Robin meeting Kwesi. Kwesi is technically still married, but living his life. And does that happen in your 20s? You don't really experience that in your 20s, but in your 40s, you're open. You have to be more open to different situations is what I'm trying to say in regards to, is it what kind of relationship? And you have to be strategic if you're being romantic because Robin has a whole kid and you're trying to date her. He has a whole life in a different, in London. And so
he
it's
had a
just like,
kid too, didn't he?
Yeah, he has
And a
2 kids
wife.
and a wife.
And
So
a
the
wife.
thing is like, it just
They were
changes.
separated.
So I think, I mean,
That's a whole nother conversation, y'all.
Oh, that
we
work
can't go there.
shit
That's a
in
whole nother conversation.
I think so. Yes, I think between
I was talking to y'all
love,
for an hour on that situation.
I think it is strategic, of course, when it comes to love and the romance of it all, because life is different in your 40s.
But is it strategic or is it just you're smarter? Like you.
Well, I mean, you can make it work now. You can make it work. Look at Harper jumping on a plane overnight. Who does that?
Well, he's a fool. Harper is definitely
He's
a
rich.
fool because going all the way to Ghana is crazy
but
because your
I'm-
11-year-old calls you like having a tantrum. But
So
no.
here's what I think on this question. So I'm not in my 40s, so I can't fully speak on like the experience of dating or being romantic in that era of my life. But I will say that I know one thing that I learned very early in my 20s is that I think, especially and not to say that 40 is old, but y'all know what I mean when I say like a young person between the years of like 18 to 23. I think, or even younger than 18. I feel like sometimes we put people who are in a higher age bracket on a pedestal. So we think that they have it all figured out. And surely they can't be going through the same bullshit that I'm going through. And when I get to that age, I'm gonna have it figured out. I'm gonna know what to do. And I have learned that whether you are 23 or 53, if you have not taken the time to learn yourself and develop yourself and heal yourself, you will be just as raggedy as a 23-year-old and you are 53. I think that has been the most eye-opening experience for me to see that, okay, like humanizing people that are older than me. Like, okay, y'all are still going through the same shit that I'm going through. It's just in a different time in your life. Or y'all still think this way, just like I think it, but you're just a little older than me. And I think that this book really highlighted that because the way these people were acting, you would think they were in that 18 to 23-year-old range, but really they're not in that. And so it just shows me that this is everyone's first time at life. This is everybody's first experience, and we're doing the best that we can, or we're doing what we think is the right thing to do, or what we've learned is the right thing to do. But that doesn't mean that like we can't change that idea and grow, even if that growth happens when you're in your 40s or your 30s or hell, your 60s.
Yeah.
We're all experiencing life for the first time.
I was just telling my son that the other day, like we had to have a come to Jesus moment as we often do. Cause, oh child. But anyway, yeah, like this is everybody's first time. Everybody's first time in life, for sure. And people, for the most part, have good intentions,
For
right?
sure.
And you can only, you learn and you grow as you go through life and as you experience different things, right? So I do, as far as the question, love after 40. So I am the single one, right, at the table. And I think as far as love after 40 goes, so I'm definitely in the 40 club, to knowing yourself, knowing what is acceptable, knowing your boundaries, what you're willing to deal with and what you're not willing to deal with. I do think that it does become more strategic because there's a point you're not dating for potential anymore. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily what can me and this person build, right? Like what can we build together? It's what you good? You got you? I got me. Like where you want to go? Where you want to link? What you want to do? You know what I mean? It's companionship. It's more about companionship, right? And also in that is, I think the idea of I want what I want, period, right? And how much am I willing to or going to compromise or sacrifice at this stage in life? Not much, right? Because the alternative is I'm good, like you said, like I'm good with the friendships I have. I'm good with the relationships that I have. I actually enjoy my own company. So I'm not pressed to be in any relationship, romantically
Turns out
or
I'm not nearly
otherwise.
as flexible as I would need to be in order to be with you.
Yeah. And
Can't
that's
bend
okay.
it all.
And that's okay. Because the alternative at the end of the day is, guess who I get to hang out with? Me. And that's fine. Like, I'm good with that. Of course, everything is always going to be, it depends, right? But as it relates to the book, I feel like Jordan and Harper were probably more on some strategic, you know what I mean? Yes, does Jordan have some control issues? Probably so. Is that necessarily a bad thing all the time? I don't know. Like, who is she hurting, right? If it gets to a point where you're hurting yourself, then maybe there's time to reevaluate it. You know what I mean? But if your control issues are to protect yourself or a defense mechanism, I do think that there were definitely all of them did not do well with healthy conflict resolution. Like, healthy conflict resolution. Tie that in with the condoms and therapy. Like, they did not have it going on at all across the board.
No.
I have to mention the one part, like in the beginning of the book where he was hanging out with that girl, Bailey. Like, you hung out with her all day. How old are we? That's where I was like,
He should have stood up. Because get the fuck.
yes, like,
Get
get
up.
out. Like, get
Get
out.
up.
Like,
Tell
I don't
her
want,
I have
don't-
work to do. I can't hang out
Well,
with
and that's
you all
basically
day.
what she told him
So,
too.
and it was a downfall for me. I think that's what bothered me, because it was like, how old are we, Harper, where you can't even tell a girl that you're just kicking it with.
The
That
fact
you-
that
That I
you
got
are-
stuff to do.
The fact that you're a writer and can't communicate is
It's so
Mind-blowing,
mind-boggling.
for sure.
But also, I guess I think like the issue, I guess like with the question that Steph asked, when it's like, oh well, you know, it's like about being strategic. I think when I hear strategic, I feel like it's like a little like I'm hearing like calculated and this and that. Where I'm like, maybe that's the word I had a problem with. I think because I'm just like, I just think you're smarter and you're like making moves that make more sense, but not necessarily like plotting. Strategic means like you're plotting something. Like you're like, oh well, let me see what we're doing. Okay. Apparently, Star is like, hey, I'm.
As strategic as I like
She
the word
always
strategic.
one
It's
thing
more
about
like,
my
what can
girl
you
Star,
do
she
for me?
always playing chess. I don't know, y'all around here doing checkers, pick up sticks, and Star is playing chess. So
Long game.
either be here for the game or don't be. But please understand, she enjoys her own company. So matter of fact, you actually don't have to play. Like, whatever.
Absolutely don't have to. It's fine.
Which just means when the right person come along, hey, it's the right person.
It's the right person, and it's
Right.
just gonna fall in line.
And on that note, I will say I think the person that has made the most growth and the most strive to better themselves in this series of its entirety, from the movie to the book, is Lance.
Okay. Thank you that you did not say Robin, because baby, honey.
Baby, you saw him from crashing out before his wedding because your friend fucked your girl to, okay, now my woman is dying and I need to figure out how to raise these kids, to, okay, my woman is gone and now my children are identifying in ways that I'm not familiar with, but I'm going to go with it and I'm going to go with God, to, oh, I met this woman and I didn't know I was ready for marriage, but here I am. Like, he was able to navigate his life in such a way where you could see the growth from, okay, I need to have my whole face first.
Yes.
And then I'm a find.
If Lance was the
You
main
are
character,
so-
He was the one that made the most growth to me from start to finish. And I would love to follow him.
I'm sure that he will have a
Maybe we'll get that in the
cheers
trilogy.
to that.
Because
Like,
that's
cheers
what I
to
want.
that.
Because that's a
I would
man
agree.
right
I
there.
love
That's
everything
a
you said.
man.
100% agree. But the way I was sitting here waiting for you to say Robin and waiting to see Star flip this table, like I couldn't even focus. I was like,
All three of them
Look,
are hot
I was
trash.
like, let me hold my drink before she flipped the table. I didn't want to spill.
Because the liquor, please don't. Don't spill
We
it.
don't waste over here.
Oh God.
But no, Lance is the only
But you're
one.
right. No, you're
He's
right,
the
cousin. You're
only
right.
one.
I would concur. That man has lived.
Yeah, and he has learned.
He
and he has
has
grown
grown.
from his
Yes.
from learning.
And it's
So
still
they
continuing.
just gave it Malcolm and them gave us a book of the three that was not in a good place. Because honestly, if you think about the rest of the characters, which I think
Yes.
we're gonna dive
Even
into,
Q.
we'll dive into on the
Yeah.
live. We'll get more into like the whole situation from the beginning all the way through this book. Definitely they've grown up in the 20 plus years we've known them. Yes, so maybe this book was just dedicated to the three that is still on their journey. And I'm not sure what the next two books, like where Malcolm and them going with it. We'll see.
Y'all let me know.
Again, we're gonna have to let Steph know she's not coming along for the
Crazy.
ride.
And that ending was ridiculous. So the thing
We
is,
can't
not
even talk
only
about it. We
are
can't
the
talk
next
about
two
it.
Books gonna go into
Because
further
my
detail.
thing is we know this
But
is
we
not an
still-
accident. Like this
and
is
talk about it, because it's not.
and this is what
No,
I tell
you
Jeff.
can't talk about it. You
No,
can't.
I told Jeff, I said, I don't care what woman come at the only woman that could come at me and say it was a oops is you have a form of birth control, but you were like sick and you had antibiotics or something like that, and you are not aware that you can get pregnant. I'll give you that medically. I will give you that. But if you get all of the other stuff, if you get your monthlies, if you still get your monthlies every 6 months, you are fertile myrtle.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay, well
Period.
we ain't not giving away nothing for the people that may not.
Y'all read the
Read
book,
the book.
though.
Read
Read
the
the fucking book.
Read the book.
Sure.
Like, here's the thing. The episode, you're listening to the episode right now. Read the book, please. So you
It's
can
a
get in
good
the
book.
comments with
Sure.
us and give us your thoughts. Because
Oh, on the live, we're gonna have to get into it. Like on the
Yeah,
live.
we're gonna have to get all the way into
The
it.
live is full of spoiler alerts. It is what it is. So make sure you read the book and then tune in for the live.
Because there's
Um,
still some things I gotta get off my chest.
Oh, yeah, it's
But we're not gonna do it here. But there are still some things I need to
and
get
Robin
off my
is still damn
chest.
insecure.
Mm.
Because if she was not, then we would not have the girl
Okay,
mess. Anyway,
Just
all right.
know domestic violence is not okay. That's all I'm gonna say.
And condoms in therapy are
It's
still
not
a
okay.
thing.
Heavily on the therapy this time. Heavily on the therapy.
And honestly, heavy on
On
the
the
condoms.
condoms,
'Cause
yeah.
What you doing?
What is really
God
going on?
damn.
Baby. So we know we did it for the culture. We did it for the culture.
For
and
the
we're
culture.
here. We
And
locked
I'm gonna
in.
keep reading.
We gotta
I'ma-
see it
I'ma
through at this
finish
point.
it.
For
So
sure.
good
well,
job,
again, three
Mal.
of us are. Steph just said just do the cliff notes for her because what she not she gonna come here and have these drinks with y'all, but she not gonna read the books. Okay,
And that's
it's
okay.
2 more books she not here for it.
And I'm still gonna guess the right stuff.
You
Yeah,
might.
Malcolm and them, they got
I
us.
can't with y'all. I
They
can't
still
with
got
the
us.
Malcolm with that.
Yeah, Malcolm and them still got us hooked.
Good job, Malcolm.
Yeah,
Good
we
job,
here for
Brad.
it. Before we close, you know the vibe. We always say space for something to sit with, sip on, or carry into your week. A lit challenge to move you, a top for thought to ground you, or a memorable quote from the book that lingers like a good sip. This episode's lit challenge, we're calling it Check Your History. Think about one relationship, romantic or otherwise, that still lives rent-free in your memory. Ask yourself, are you missing the person or the version of yourself you were back then? No texting, no lurking, no revisiting, just reflection. Because sometimes unfinished business isn't about them, it's about the closure we owe ourselves. So that's the challenge. If you want to share with us and message us or whatever, then you can. But if not, this is for you. It's about you. Reflect and do your thing. That's it for this episode of Black Girls Lit Podcast, where fine women, fine literature, and fine libations always meet. To the words that found you, the pour that held you, and the version of you that showed up to listen, remember to share us on your favorite social media platforms and make room for someone else at the table. We will be back next time with The Great Man, a historical fiction by Kira Leary. Okay? Thank you for joining us, and until then,
Read boldly and sip slowly. Cheers.